What is your favorite magic item you've had as a player? Let us know in the comments below. Technically not one, but my monk received a set of 4 immovable rods. Combined with slow fall, Sabriel feared no height as she scaled the sky. Robe of useful items. Hands down the best thing I ever got and had fun with it for so long. I didn't intend to love it so much, but my current wizard wears a robe of eyes, and it's pretty sweet. In an AD&D group, my level 9 cleric found a Mace of Disruption. When I'd found the mace, my character struggled with her faith after seeing the evil rampant in a terrible town where goodness had been thoroughly stamped out. We had gone into a nearby ruin and broke through a wall to find an overlooked treasury, and she felt a jolt of righteous power when her hand touched the mace. After rallying local nobles to give a damn about this corrupt town and help us purge it of evil, our adventures took us into a nasty dungeon with a lich at the end. We all knew the stories about how tough these things were, but I trusted in my mace and relied on my faith to get me close. I rolled a critical hit, and the lich failed its save against the mace's power. 1 hit, and the mace blasted the lich from existence. My character's faith returned in full force after that, and she went on to found her own place of worship when I eventually retired her at level 11. The Spirit Cleaver. It made my level 20 one-shot Phantom Rogue so busted. She could attack from the ethereal plane, and it is fantastic with rogue abilities. Here's the description. This dark metal blade can slip between a person and their spirit to sever their connection to one another. You gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon, which deals slashing damage instead of piercing damage. While holding this weapon, you can use an action to cast the Etherealness spell from it with the following changes. While on the ethereal plane, you can attack targets that you can see on the plane you originated from with the Spirit Cleaver. These attacks are made with advantage. If a target has 75 hit points or fewer after taking sneak attack damage in this way, and it isn't a construct or undead, it must succeed on a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or die. The spell has a duration of 1 minute, but ends early if you attack a creature on the plane you originated from with the Spirit Cleaver. Once this property of the weapon has been used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. My sorcerer got a bag of holding early on, which has caused the GM much angst by bypassing things that were meant to split the party up. That said, I later lucked into a ruby weave gem, and the flexibility that offers could be a game changer. It was a silly homebrew, but one of my players was once gifted the ability to summon the Kool-Aid Man. If they were in dire need, they would just have to say, "Oh no," 3 times, and a pitcher-shaped glass golem filled with a healing potion would burst through the nearest wall while bellowing, "Oh yeah!" knocking any enemies prone unless they passed a check. He would then lean himself forward and offer to pour healing potions down every party member's throat. They only used him once, but he still joked about every time anyone receives a quest reward. I was playing a Blade Singer, and I loved my Cloak of Billowing. It was the least useful thing I had mechanically, but the item I spent the most time describing in every fight, especially if the opponent missed their attack. My explanation for the Blade Singer AC buff was all from the Cloaks movement. I got a Cloak of the Bat in a setting that, for reasons, the sun was never truly out in the sky. There was virtually no environment in which I couldn't fly. I mainly used it to pretend I was Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows. Bat? I loaned it to another character that needed to disguise themselves with a mask so they could be Batman. Oh, and once in a while, it served as a useful tool for its intended purposes. Bags of holding are nice and all, but nothing beats Heward's handy haversack for keeping your character organized and well-stocked. Nothing makes me happier than having a DM give me one. I had a paladin that was always going late due to low initiative rolls. Shortly after role-playing into the alert feat, at level 8, my DM blessed me with a +2 Warhammer of Warning. It allowed me to roll at advantage with a +4 to initiative. It made such a difference to the game because now I, as the tank, could get up close and personal fairly quickly. My drug addict wizard has an amulet of the drunkard. That, combined with one of the potions for a flaw, I am too enamored of wine, ale, and other intoxicants, are how I got the idea of being a drug addict in the first place. Basically, 8 ounces of alcohol is the equivalent of a health potion. And I'm a drunk, so I always have plenty of cheap wine on me. I do also very much like having a medium barrier tattoo. If I'm able, all of my magic user characters get one. DM chose to make common items really affordable, so I stacked as many as I could. My favorite was the mystery key. A bunch of mystery keys, about 30 of them. Instead of using thief's tools, if I had to open a door, I'd just check every key until one of them eventually opened the door. My DM gave me a ring of grammarian ones, allowing me to change one letter of my spells to change its effect. He might have eventually allowed changing up to 2 letters to make it even more versatile. That was fun, in terms of giving hours of word game fun thinking of new spells, as well as working with the DM for a fair and sometimes funny way to interpret the new spells and seeing it work in-game. My DM did a shitty and hastily thrown together Christmas-themed session on a session we played in late December. It ended with us rescuing Santa and getting to pick from a list of rewards. Half of our group selected the Oath Bow, Swift Death to My Enemies. And it was hilarious how insanely fast we killed bosses for the rest of that campaign. People play D&D for different reasons. They want to pretend to be an elf or whatever. I just like solving puzzles and breaking unbreakable stuff. DM gave us joke useless items. Mine was a small rod with a button that, when pressed, rendered the rod immovable. That's it. Most broken item ever. Raft about to go over a waterfall? Anchor with the rod. Gotta break into a heavily fortified castle? Wizard finger the rod up and lasso it to climb the wall. Monster chasing you down a hall? Rod to block the path. Stupid how many things it rendered trivial until he took it away. Can't believe he thought I wouldn't exploit it in every way possible. Glamored robes that let me change the appearance of things I held and one feature of my face as well. To all, I looked like a blonde knight with plate mail and a sword and shield, when I was actually a black-haired sorcerer, School of Illusion wizard wearing the robes and holding a spell book and sometimes a wand as a focus. The DM did a really great job of having mobs and NPCs act surprised when I busted out spells. The party thought I was a blade singer the whole time too. My character was a fugitive using a fake name and the cover of an adventuring party to stay on the move and avoid capture. Most fun for the group, the Horn of Blasting, especially since I got it at a level where exploding could have killed me. Most fun for me, Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments. Got to use them in a variety of creative ways that the DM never saw coming. Now the most satisfying one, the Custom Instrument of the Bards. Took several quests to acquire all the components, including killing and getting a Death Tyrant. But by the time I got it, we were nearing the end of the campaign, so I didn't get to use it very often. But it was still pretty cool. Homebrew, the Cloak of Tales. As we adventured, our reputation grew. The Cloaks saw to it that just about everyone we met had heard a rumor about us, be they good, bad, or just plain weird. It also gave us a plus whatever to knowledge rolls, but who cares about that when there are stories to be told? Ring of Spell Storing. My DM thought my sorcerer would take it, but I loaded it with spells each morning and gave it to the fighter. Mostly contingency plan stuff like shield or feather fall, but Burning Hands Magic Missile came in clutch a couple of times. My character found a cloak on a coat rack. The cloak picked through my pack after I tucked it in and ate all my provisions. Slowly, I discovered I had found a very hungry mimic. Technically, it's not a magic item, but as a hungry pet that I kept fed, and it stayed around Osmum's shoulders late into our campaigns. The comic relief and a little mischief here and there was well worth it. Basically, Mjolnir. It was a reflavored item, couldn't fly with it, but it was a D8 one-handed maul and a throwing weapon that had a 3x3 lightning attack. It came back on the next turn and did damage on its way back. Only those with time to attune could lift it. Was it broken? I would say yeah, kinda. But everyone in the campaign had something comparable, and the DM just gave us more enemies to fight, so it was a blast. A lightning blast. I got a custom magic item after completing a series of personal quests based on my character's background. His fiancée was sacrificed by an evil cult, and he finally freed her spirit and reclaimed her engagement ring. It turned into a ring of warmth and sustenance. Her love supported him and kept him warm. Justice's Edge, a special Holy Avenger dedicated to Bahamut from 4th edition. You got certain bonuses by following a righteous cause for a streak of days. And so, I was certain to maintain the max bonuses for as long as possible. Anyway, this convinced me to murder one of our fellow players to stay a hero of justice after he sacrificed all of his men in a reckless charge in a war game section of the campaign. My old DM gave me what I'm pretty sure was a homebrewed item called a Gambler's Blade. It was a long sword with the finesse property because he hated that rogues were proficient in long swords but couldn't use them without gimping their character. It had charges that regenerate at dawn, and when you attack you can activate a slot machine in it where 3 gems would show the outcome. It did things like adding elemental damage, knockback, extra attacks, etc. It could also backfire if you rolled a certain value. I named them, but I can't remember what. V Double-Bladed Axe. Vorpal. On a nat, this was 92, so foggy memory, but it decapitated on a nat 19 to 20. But on the 20, the DM let me have the skull get jammed between the blades so I could keep it. Ricochet Hammer. 30 feet, 60 feet. You can throw this hammer and hit up to 3 enemies. Each throw counts as 1 attack. After the attack, the hammer returns to your hand. This feature can be used 3 times before a short rest. So, my level 11 fighter can hit 9 times for 1 round, 3 times a day. Is there a wall? Yes. I hit the boss, then the wall, then the boss, then the boss, then the wall, then the boss, then the boss, then the wall, and finally the boss one more time. He's still up? Polar Master! Haha! How's he looking? DM? Why are you sweating? Crap. Hey everyone, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below what is your favorite magic item that you had as a player. And of course, if you ever want to support the channel, you can do so by joining our membership program. It keeps us alive, happy, and healthy, and you get early access to videos, and we give you our eternal love with it. So please be safe, happy, and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Toodaloo for now.